Hello everyone and welcome back to Build with AI series. What if I told you that there is a new 1.8 billion parameter model that beats massive commercial translation APIs? Today I'm going to cover this new HY-MT 1.5 model which just has 1.8 billion parameters and it runs completely offline with just 1 GB of memory. So let's dive in. Tencent has just released its Union translation model version 1.5 which includes a 1.8 billion translation model and another big translation model which has 7 billion parameters. Both of these models support 33 languages and 5 ethnic and dialect variations. So whether you want to build a local project for your region or you want to build a global customer app, this model can work in both applications. And just in the end of April, they have also released their 2-bit and 1.25-bit quantized versions as well, which just have 500 or 400 MB footprint on your memory disk. And the best part is that these models can work on the Android or iOS applications as well. And they have also shown the live demo for the mobile application, where the translation is done in seconds without any internet connection. Let's look at the benchmark numbers of this new model to see actually how good it is. On the Flores 200 benchmark on Chinese to any language translation, this new model hits 83.6% score, which beats several of the Q1, Gemini or Google Translator scores easily. And it is also at par with the best performing models like DeepSeek, which scores 88%. So there is only 3-4% gap. So this is massive because this model is just open source and has a very tiny size of 2 billion. More impressive is English to any language translation, where it scores 89%, again beating most of the translator apps and models. The data clearly shows that this model is surpassing the most frontier AI models and the commercial translation APIs currently on the market. This high performance compared to the Q1 or DeepSeek models is possible because this model dedicates 100% of its weights to cross-lingual mapping. So unlike other models, it doesn't waste attention layers trying to learn how to write Python code or to summarize PDFs. So this gives you an enterprise-grade translation engine with absolutely zero API latency and cost. One of the biggest technical headaches in this software translation industry is keeping the HTML tags or the XML syntax of your script completely intact during translation. But HY-MT solves this at architectural level using specific prompt templates for formatted translation. So instead of passing the raw text, you wrap your exact inputs inside the source tags so the translation is done safely, and you can keep the other tags like HTML, XML all inside these kind of variables and curly braces. So all these kind of markdown content is skipped during translation. And this model also has special attention to SN tags to strictly identify where the formatting information is kept in your input prompt. I'll be building a local AI app which will do the translation from any language to my local language and will use these SN tags so you can directly see how these are used in actual applications. All these structural tags are kept as mathematical anchor points, so it translates the raw text but leaves the code in text completely untouched. This explicitly stops the model from hallucinating different HTML tags or randomly translating, let's say, some CSS or Python class names. This makes it incredibly easy to use regular expressions to extract the pure translated code block directly back into your pipeline. If you are building enterprise tools, you also have the added support for the terminology intervention, so you can have absolute control over your industry jargon or how your brand names will be translated. HY-MT engineers a native terminology intervention right into the model's expected prompt architecture. So if you check the official documentation, you will see the prompt template for terminology intervention, where you can define an explicit dictionary mapping for your source term to the target term. This will act like a hard mathematical constraint on the model's token generation probabilities. So whenever the model is reading your specific brand name in the source text, it is forced to output the formatted target term that you have given here. This completely eliminates the common edge cases where LLMs often fail when they literally try to translate the brand names or technical acronyms. So even if you have massive documents, software technical files, or game dialogue scripts, this feature will guarantee perfect jargon consistency across. And you achieve this control dynamically without needing to fine-tune any of the LLM models. Standard translation engines also have a context window issue. Because we have different isolated texts, sentences, or dialogues, the translation often breaks because the model cannot predict the perfect grammatical gender, tone, or subject matter. To fix this issue, this model uses the prompt templates for contextual translation as well, where you can utilize this to inject the background data into the prompt itself. In this context variable, you can pass on the speaker names, lore documents, or surrounding paragraphs for your story directly into the model. Then you strictly specify the target language and provide the actual source text that you want to be translated. The model will read the context tokens, build its semantics understanding, but during the translation output, it will completely ignore all of this context. So this will strictly limit the generation to the translated version of the original source text that you have provided. So this allows the attention layers of the inherent neural network structure to pull the deep situational meaning without bloating the entire JSON context window with useless repeated context. To extract the highest quality of translations for your use case, you can also change the parameters of the AI engine. By default, the documentation also recommends the optimal parameters, like temperature should be set as 0.7. Temperature just means the variability in the output. So let's say if you're generating a poem, you can increase the temperature, or if you want a deterministic probabilistic fact answer, you can decrease the temperature towards 0. The top K value is given as 20, which means the model will only generate the top 20 most probable tokens, restricting it from generating some hallucinated, rare output tokens, which may not be useful in our correct context. Top P parameter is set as 0.6 as default, forcing the sampling of the most probable tokens and to cut off the long tail of incorrect, improbable semantic meaning choices. Repetition penalty is set as 1.05. This means how much the attention layer will be repeated to generate the tokens. We are keeping it low as 1.05 just to prevent the attention mechanism from getting repeated and stuck in looping translation outputs. It is also important to note that by default it does not have any system prompt. Generally, we give a system prompt to define the basic rules and the tone that we want from the LLM model output. So here you must inject the exact translation template into the primary user block that you are giving as input. For downloading the model, you have different quantization options available. The recently released, which I had already talked about, are the 2-bit and 1.25-bit quantized versions. These quantizations just means that in the parameters of the neural network, all the values are printed down to 2-bit decimal places or 1.25-bit decimal places. You can also check the base model page and check all the different quantizations that are available for this model by just clicking on the quantization models. And here you will see all the different quantization options like 8-bit, 4-bit, etc. So you can lower down on your quantizations if you have a lower configuration PC. So how do you actually integrate this model into your software pipeline? One option is to download the GGUF files or download the models from the Hugging Face Transformer library, or you can also use the Ollama library where the quantized versions are already available for this HY-MT 1.5 model. For example, today I'm going to use this model, which has 1.8 billion and it is 4-bit quantized. So the total download size of this model is just 1 GB. Some of you had asked my system configurations in my earlier videos. So I'm going to run this project on my laptop, which has a GeForce GTX 1650 Ti, which has a 4 GB of VRAM available, and I have a 16 GB RAM and an i7 processor. Now to build this project, I'm going to use Google Antigravity as my Python IDE. If you don't have it installed, you can go to antigravity.google/download and download the installer according to your platform. Next, to download the local Ollama model, you need the Ollama software. To download it, you just need to go to ollama.com/download, and according to your platform, you can download the installer. Once you have both of these installed, you can just copy this query to download the model. Open Google Antigravity and open your terminal by expanding this pan and paste your query here. So this will download the model and you can directly interact with it also once it is downloaded. So now it is downloaded in my system and I can directly send it a message. For now, I will exit this chat window by pressing Ctrl D. Now I will exit the terminal. So the project I built is a zero-break indie game localizer, which will translate some indie game dialogues from multiple languages to my local Hindi language. The technical stack that I am going to use is Python for my code scripting language, Ollama to run our local LLM models, and for our local translator, I am going to use HY-MT 1.5 1.8 billion parameters. Next, all the dependencies I have listed already in the requirements.txt file, so I will just copy this query, again open the terminal and paste it here. Basically, you will just need Ollama. If you don't have it installed, it will directly install it here. So now it is installed, so I will just exit it. Next step is to download the model that we have already done. And now I will build this app.py file, which will have my core logic of the project. So first I'm importing all the different libraries that I'm going to be needing. In the main function, I'm going to use the UTF-8 encoding, which is just a standard encoding for any text. Now first I've defined all my input dialogues in this input string.json. I've just used Google Translate and Google Gemini AI just to generate some game dialogues for me. So first is a greeting in the English language, which is hello player name, welcome to the level 5. Here you would have noticed that for the variables which would need formatting, let's say player name, it can vary according to the player that is given by user. I've enclosed these in the SN tags. So the translation model knows that this is not to be translated and directly fetched from the variables for player name or the levels that we have defined. So both of these parameters will not be changed in the translation. Next, I've also given some different languages dialogues, let's say in Spanish, French, Dutch, and then there is an English dialogue also that your inventory is full. Please drop some items to pick up health potion. So health potion again is enclosed in tags, so it knows it doesn't have to translate it. Then again, there are some dialogues in Spanish and French. So in my app.py, I'm going to read this input string.json. So when creating some games, generally we have these scripts in some JSON files, so we can directly change them without affecting the game engine. So I'm going to open this JSON file in the same UTF-8 encoding. I'm going to use the JSON library and its load function to load the file here. Then all these parameters will be passed on to the input strings variable. Then in case if we get any error, we are enclosing this in try except statements. So let's say if you don't have the file in your current project structure, you will get a file not found error. So instead of throwing the long error that we get generally in Python, I'm just going to print this message that we got this error input string.json not defined, and I'm going to exit from this main function. So this kind of try except handling you should do in any of your Python projects or any coding project in general, just so your entire execution doesn't halt and you don't even get informed about what was the exact error. Then I'm going to translate all of the strings into Hindi. So I made some placeholder for my Hindi strings here. The model name that I'm going to use is this HY-MT model that we have downloaded, and the initial system prompt template I'm going to use is this that translate the following text between the source into Hindi, output only the translated result without extra explanations. The SN tags in the original text indicate formatting information. Please reserve these tags at the corresponding positions in your translation, and the output format is this target, the string, some new line characters, and the source text here. So now I'm printing that I'm translating these many input strings using the model name this. Next, I'm going to iterate over all the input lines that I have in my config file. I'm going to also track the total time taken for the translation as well. So for that, I'm going to use the time library. I'm going to start the counter here. Then I'm going to iterate over all my input strings. When you use dot items, it will give both the key and text in these two variables, because in the input JSON, I had two different key and item list here. So just for logging, I'm going to print that I'm translating this key and this text. Then again, there will be a try except block. We are going to start the timer here. Then using the Ollama.generate function, I'm going to give my model name and the prompt that I have defined. Then I will add the time counter here. So I'll note the exact amount of time that was taken for translation. Next, I'm going to get the response from response.get function. If there is no response given by model, I'm just going to give an empty string. Then I'm going to match the target tags that I had asked the model to give for the final translated text. If I find any match, I'll just say that this is my translated text, which is the match of the first group, which means the most probable match will be passed on to this translated text. Else we are going to give the whole output to the translated text by just removing some empty spaces using .strip function. So in the Hindi strings dictionary for this given key, I'm going to save this translated text given by the model. Finally, I'm going to print that this is the result and this is the time taken for translation. For the time taken, you just have to subtract the end time from the start time, and I'm using this formatting which just formats the output in 2 decimal places. Finally, /n is used for entering a new line character. In case if we get any error, we'll just print that we have got this error translating this key and this is the exact error, and in the final Hindi strings, we'll just input the original text that was there in our input JSON file. Then I'm going to stop the total timer. This is just to check how much total time was taken for all the strings combined. So I'm going to print that total translation time is total end time minus total start time, again in 2 decimal places. And finally, I'll just print seconds and a new line character. So now we have got all the strings that we wanted in this Hindi strings parameter. So we'll save this in an output file as well. So I'm going to print that we are saving this in a Hindi game strings.json. I'm going to open this file in a write mode, and the encoding will be same UTF-8. Then using json.dump, I'm going to dump this dictionary in this file and adding some parameters that it may not be ASCII character coded, and the indent that you should add is 2 character spaces. Finally, I'm going to print that localization is complete. Check the Hindi game strings.json for the results. And whenever this file is called, this main function will be called, and I'm going to just call the main local function that I have defined above. Now to run this file, I just need to go to terminal again and write python app.py and press enter. So now it is loading the input string and it is translating the 7 string using this model that we have given. Now it has loaded the first greeting and it has given the result here. The time taken is just 3 seconds, and it has given the same for all the other input lines we had also. You see that all the translations are taking less than 1 second or around 1 second for each of the translations. The total translation time is taken 8 seconds for our 6 to 7 input lines that we had given. Now it has saved the final translated output to this HyGameStrings.json, and we can check it directly here. So you see it has given the correct output. If you don't know Hindi, like, you can trust me that this is correct, that hello is translated as this hello. Player name is kept as same. Then level 5 mein aapka swagat is also correctly translated. Then it has given chetavani, which is just warning, your health is lower than the 20% level. So it has given that aapka swast 20% sar se kam hai. And for all the other languages also, it has given the correct translations. You can also pass all of these to Google Translate and see that it is correctly translated from our input strings. So you see our entire text that we have given as the input is correctly formatted and translated in our output file in just 5 to 7 seconds. So this model is really fast and can run easily on our consumer hardware as well. So you can start using this in your own translation projects easily. Now if you look at the use cases in which you can use this kind of tool, first you can translate your entire game dialogues into multiple languages like we have done here, and you can run it entirely locally without paying for any expensive cloud APIs. Then you can also do the translation on your game mods, keeping the specific formatting tags like color codes or variables safely preserved. Next, let's say if you are doing some UI or UX prototyping for any of your application, you can quickly check whether the translated text will fit in your UI, because in different languages you can have some different text expansion. Next, let's say if you are making some mobile or desktop apps, you can directly locate your JSON strings, translate them while preserving your internal placeholders. Or if you are working with some studios which have strict non-disclosure agreements, you can send the pre-release story scripts to your local AI models without sending them to public APIs which can leak your proprietary data. Next, on top of this project, you can also add some more features. Let's say instead of running each of your game dialogue in a loop, you can also group multiple small strings into a single prompt and ask the final translated text directly, which will significantly speed up your inference. Next, you can use some asyncio kind of library as well that can handle multiple translations in parallel, so you don't wait for one translation to complete to process the next translations when you have idle compute power available on your system. Then instead of just handling the JSON files, which I'm doing right now, you can also add integrations for the Unity asset files or some other file extensions which are there in your gaming engines. Then you can also add some quality control checks. Let's say if your structural integrity is maintained between your source and targeted text, and flag them before you output the final translated text to your game engine. Then to speeden up the process on the already translated text, you can also add a memory layer which will store the previously translated strings and ensure the consistent terminology across the different massive scripts. I put the entire codes and this readme file in the GitHub link in the description and pinned comments, so grab the code today and build your own translation projects easily. Let me know in comments if you have some suggestions for me to build some local AI projects, and follow the channel for more such AI builds, updates and workflows.